Good evening, everyone. Join us while streaming from the northeast of England, and this is Skyrim Special Edition. We are continuing with a playthrough of a two-handed Imperial Warrior. It's also using Werewolf perks, and I've also got a variety of mods installed, mostly combat, a fair bit of UI, texture stuff as well. And tonight I am probably going to aim to do Falkreath missions and become the Thane of that hold, and that should be all of the cities effectively done, which then pretty much leaves me to only need to do main story up to a point where I then have to do and resolve the Civil War, which, being an Imperial, I'm obviously going to side with the Empire. Get the rest of the main quest done, and then there's just the Dragonborn DLC left to do. So I'm obviously not going to get that all done tonight, not from 8 o'clock onwards anyway. I think the hope tonight is I may get block up, if not complete, back to 100 on another legacy build just to keep leveling up, because I'm still somewhere short from the regular cap of 81. Obviously you can go further than 81, but the highest enemy in the game is 81. So initially I'm just going to work with Lydia to spar a bit. Nice start, Lydia. I had to have a go through my mods as well, actually, because I'm not supposed to be getting health damage when I'm blocking. I'm supposed to be only getting damage with when I'm only supposed to get stamina damage, but for some reason I'm still getting health damage, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And that's even with vigor at the lower end of the order.
You won't get the best of me.
Burning up to 60 already. I think the mistake I did last time when I legendary boosted block was to immediately put the perks back in, but because I was able to make use of the time block timing streak where it would disarm Lydia's weapon, it kind of slowed down. Actually, we got to a point where we tried to do the sparring outside and ended up destroying the weapon. Well, I lost the first one in the house here. It did end up somewhere, but it just disappeared. Don't know where the hell it went. I ended up making a new sword for her. But, yeah, it ended up breaking the sword. Oh, burning through at the moment, at least. Anyway, 62 already. Oops, she bounced.
You won't get the best of me.
63.
About this. Now you'll pay.
So, I mean, even if I just get it up to 90, what would be enough just to... I can work with 90 at least, and then try and get some knocked off by live actual combat. Not that this isn't live combat, of course, but it's the main reason I got this sparring mod.
Now you'll pay.
65. And that's leveled up. Let's do health first. Stamina on the next level, and then I'm actually very close to 500 on both health and stamina. Magic, I'll probably keep it 250 for now. Unless it gets to the point where that's going to be an iffy one. Okay, I have been working on archery. So it's not really the full tree I want to get on archery, because it's not what he's really built for. I just thought there I really ought to start looking into putting stuff into restoration, just for the sake of it's nearly at 100 itself. But also just make use of things here that's going to be... see, Edgewalker and Respite would be very helpful. Don't necessarily need to get much more though, because he's not going to be... He's bread and butter, obviously. But again, just something that just helps out with overall combat. Oh, I'm going to turn into a werewolf here. I'll have to.
Honor to you, my Thane.
Okay, she hasn't freaked out. Yeah, that could have been a problem. I can get them in there, not too bad.
Long life. Honor to you, my Thane. All right, then.
Let's keep the work up though then. I was doing pretty good for myself there, getting up to 65, get up to 70. That gets a few more options available. To see if I can get at least to 90, I might at least move on and head back out there doing quests and whatnot, rather than just having an entire stream of just sparring with Lydia in the house. But unfortunately, this is the only way I can level up.
Give up while you still can.
This may just end the sparring session. It has yet.
Damn your. Is someone there?
So I'm still getting health damage when I'm blocking. So I don't know what the hell's broke that.
Now you'll pay. Are you prepared to die?
70. Oh, stuck in the door. There we go.
You won't get the best of me. Now you'll pay.
Oof, that was a bounce. And restoration up to 97 as well. Oh, helps to the leveling.
I'll kill you if I have to.
I think once I'm done with the sparring as well, whenever I do decide to end, I'm just going to bring up the options for Vigor and see if turning off that blocking thing and turn it back on is going to repair that. Because with Vigor, one of the reasons I picked it up is the concept of when you block, if you have stamina, it's just stamina that you lose, not health. You only start losing health when blocking when you've got no stamina left, because effectively you're not blocking properly because you've got no stamina left. That's the idea behind it.
I knew I'd find you.
Oh, nice forward flip there, Lydia.
This you won't get the best of me. Nothing.
78.
Win this. Are you prepared to die? I knew I'd find you. Prepared to die.
There she goes into the ground, where she will reappear from upstairs. As if I had a secret oblivion gate in the house.
Are you prepared to die?
That's 80. Alright, and yeah, it's those three. There's only those three perks left then. There's the Radiant standing out again. Well, hopefully if I get to 90, that'll be another level. I couldn't have been doing any wonders to your neck there, Lydia. I think I'm definitely going to get another level before I even hit 90, if that's the case. Just hit the 85 there, but not far from a level up. And if I get the 87, that should be a level up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to stop when I hit 90. Let's level up. Stamina. Right, so respite's going to be a good one to have. But I think other than that, yeah, not really much else I want to get in restoration.
You won't get the best of me. Are you prepared to die? I'm going to put you down. Now you'll pay.
Is it yet?
You won't get the best of me. Now you'll pay. Is someone there? You won't get the best of me. This what you want? Now you'll pay. You won't get the best of me. Now you'll pay.
Waiting for 90 to pop up. There it is.
I am your sword and your shield.
Right. Bye. Just get that in. putting that in. And then there's only dragon skills left to go. But what I also need to do see if that repairs it. Right, nothing really to drop off. I'll move out the road. Right, so let's... Probably the easiest way is we'll go along this road and then south and then into Falkreath that way. Still fighting on that farm. Oh, it's next turn off. Oh, he flew on that deflection. I was going to say, Mr. Imperial Soldier, you weren't thinking of trying to steal my thunder, were you? It's a bloody crash. Right, I'm not wasting any more time. It's just fast travel and get nearby.
Something?
I'm the steward here. I serve under Jarl Siggeir and Jarl Dengir before him.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around. Ah, it's you. Yes, well, now we'll see if the stories about you are true. There's a group of bandits in my hold that I may have had a few discreet dealings with. The cut they were giving me was good at first. Now it's time to clean things up. Go and take care of it. Good. Until later, then.
Siggeir can sometimes actually. Does listen to him.
Need me to kill bandits? Fine with me. Going back to Ember Shard, am I? It's been cleared out a few times already, but whatever. I don't think these fellas are going to prove a problem anymore, given my level now in comparison to when I first came in here.
What was that?
Hmm. Oh wait, you were telling me that was the leader? Oh, well, consider the problem dealt with. Ah, orc blood.
see a dog out there. Oh well. The blacksmith is offering a reward for a dog he saw on the road. I was hoping you'd seen it. I guess I'll stay on the lookout. Keep your nose clean while you're here, outsider.
Yeah, I know what mission that is.
Sure spoons. Handsome man in fight. I'm the steward here. I serve under Jarl Sid here and
Good to
Jarl
see
Deck
you.
here before.
Finally, someone useful is around. Teach them to stop paying me. Here, you deserve a reward for your service. You know what? I like you. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. I hereby grant you permission to purchase property in Falkreath Hold. Talk to my steward if you're interested. There is room in my court for a new Thane. It's an honorary title mainly, but there are a few perks someone like you could make use of. However, I could only grant the title to someone who is known throughout my hold. You help my people, and I'll make you my Thane. On your way, then. Until later, then.
For Falkreath and I, this is just one more war in a long line. May wisdom forever light your path.
Yeah, it's not really do bounties. I don't think they count towards the 3.
Oh, did you need something? I'm a bard, trained at the Bard's College in Solitude. Wanderers like you should think about applying. Keep a song in your heart to ward off the gloom.
That's the drinking establishment. Just the general goods store.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler if you have any questions. Well met. Unlike my brother, I've no dislike of strangers. Met lots of them while I was a Stormcloak. His name's Bolin. He's the one who works the lumber mill down by the river. If you meet him, don't expect much in the way of conversation. He ain't one for talking, especially with folk he don't know. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing. Steal anything from my shop and you'll regret it.
Oh, thanks for the flood of floodies. I usually, well, I have been playing this for the past 3 weeks, definitely. not something that I'm looking to permanently be streaming, but that's been the case of the last 3 weeks anyway. I think I'll be moving on to something else once I've actually finished this particular playthrough. There's other playthroughs I definitely want to do down the line, because I've got plenty of other characters that I usually, run through on Skyrim, but...
I was Jarl once, but I was encouraged to step down when I took sides with the Stormcloaks. It was an Imperial plot, I tell you.
Well, I'm not going to help you then, because I'm Imperial anyway. Yeah, I'll be sure to check out your channel then as well. Am I pronounced this correctly as well? Floodies, yeah, or Flood Eyes.
That we might better understand the vagaries of life and death. It is through the ebb and flow of this cosmic tide that we find renewal, and in the end, peace. May the spirit of Lavinia and all those who have left this world and its suffering know the beloved serenity of Aetherius. And may we one day rejoin them in eternity. Gust is responsible for the cemetery here in Falkreath. I take care of the shrine. I came into Arkay's light after the Great War. So many died by my hands, my magics. I'm fortunate that Gust and the people of Falkreath have come to accept me as one of their own. Could you do an old elf a favor? I misplaced my journal in a cave I was exploring. I'll pay for its return. Blessing of Arkay to you for your help. Oh, merciful Arkay, no. I'm too old and frail, and this graveyard is too large. Gust is my assistant. He helps me tend the headstones and keep our cemetery clean, as befits a place of rest. That journal means a lot to me, if you find it.
Okay, I've forgotten caves further up on the road then. Mods, well, I'll try and go through them as many off the top of my head as I can, Emo Fury 100. And hello, by the way. Okay, combat mods is Vigor, Wildcat, Mortal Enemies, TK Dodge, and you can also kind of count Ordinator as a perk replacement. And Orbis also increases the amount and variety of bandits. Oh hell, he just got put down just by getting smashed into the face. So that's the combat mods. I've also got various immersive mods such as immersive armor, weapons, horses, patrols, citizens. There's a general citizen AI one as well to hide when stuff goes down, like vampire attacks or dragon attacks, so there's just no like needless NPC deaths, as it were. There's the usual texture mods as well, like high-def texture mods. What's some other big ones? I do have like the big quest mods. Like I do have Beyond Skyrim, Burma, and Folkstar. Although I'm not planning on running through them with this because I've already spent 3 weeks just on this one playthrough alone, getting stuff done. Oh, stuff's gone down here. What else have I got? Yeah, Apocalypse spells. High King of Skyrim, I am aware of it. I was interested in getting it at one point. Because I thought it interesting that you could actually become High King of Skyrim, which made sense if you were this all-powerful being, but it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I think at the time it had a notorious rep for being broken, or not a great lot to, going on with it. But I do know about it, but I haven't checked it out since. All right, folks. Yeah, that was a nice bounce. Watch your weapon disappear. Bye. All of the mods must cost a lot. You buy mods? Oh, are you a console player of Skyrim and using the creation station for getting mods? When you say cost, are you referring to actual monies, or are you referring to the cost of performance in general? Because admittedly, I still seem to be getting a lot of crashes to desktop, even though this is special edition, which is supposed to be more stable. Money. No, I'm playing on PC, and mods, unless you're going through the creation market, which is Bethesda's deal, I'm not paying for any of the mods other than donations I've given in the past. All of the mods I've picked up is through Nexus, and just using the Nexus mod manager for installation. But yeah, there's no cost involved in buying the mods there. Oh, that's Dark Elf Blood for that mission. Yeah, I mean, I was modding Skyrim way back, pretty much around original release of 2011 when it came out, obviously on PC originally. Hell, even before the Nexus, I was using Steam Workshop as my method of mod installation before I moved over to Nexus, because there was a lot more choice available, a lot more configuration that you could do as compared to using. Oh, give me a head. Bye. suddenly, I'm getting a lot of the L's and a need for that mission. Yes, got the perk for decapitations on two-handed. So, Emo, I'm taking Emo, you are a console player then, are you? Or your PC as well, right? Right, so yeah, all the mods I've mentioned then are available on PC, obviously, because that's the version I'm using. But I've picked them up from Nexus. Yeah, I explained a lot of the mods I was using to a player on a previous stream, and then he let on that he was. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way if I can actually, because I think I can export a list from Mod Manager, but it only, I think it only exports the ESPs, so you could certainly get the name of the specific mod, but not the direct link to where the mod is on the Nexus. So I'm trying to see if there's a way I can do that, because obviously then what I can do is simply give that list on the stream and certainly on the YouTube videos that I put up there for permanent archive. But certainly if you want to search for the names of what I've mentioned, then yeah, you should be able to find them on Nexus, no problem. I've just remembered another combat mod. Well, it's combat in the sense of it's to do with the werewolf power set. Oh, hang on a minute. I want out of here, not underneath it. Jump! Jump, you bastard! Yeah, I was going to say, I'm also werewolf on this. So I'm also using Moonlight Tales as it's a mod that changes the perk tree and general werewolf system, so that because consensus seems to be that werewolves are strong in early game, but they are weak source later game. So Moonlight Tales looks to correct that, so I use that as well for additional werewolf perks and strength for endgame. And believe me, if I'm in werewolf mode, things just get obliterated. Okay, I've ended up in circles. Let me... If you go to I've got a link for YouTube where I keep a permanent archive of all the previous streams. In the tags on the YouTube videos is the names for all of the mods that I'm using. If you do happen to find the previous streams on Twitch, I think there's still quite a fair bit actually on at the moment. Then I've got most of them tagged as well, but it's mostly the combat ones that I've got tagged. But there's a lot of other ones. There we go. Got some enemies. That's it. Come over here, close to the banner. Die, mage. Bye. Where are you? No, I didn't want to pick them up. Oh, I'll get them sold somewhere. Ah, he bounced off my armor. Nice. No, you don't buy any mods at Nexus at all. Everything's free. You are encouraged to donate to certain mods, but they cost nothing at all. The only money that I've ever exchanged when involving the Nexus is I have a lifetime, and while I'm talking there, I've been forced into werewolf mode because of the way that it is. But that's fine. This is a bandit cave, so it's not like this is going to be a problem for me. They're all going to die anyway. No, mods don't cost anything on the Nexus. The only money I've ever spent on Nexus is there was a one-off fee of I forget what it was now actually, for the Nexus itself to get the premium account, so that I could get the absolute best download speeds from the Nexus, because I am on fiber. Yes, it is all free. You have the option to pay donation to a mod create for something because you like the mod, which I've certainly done for some of the big ones in the past, but otherwise you're not obliged to pay for anything at all. If you wish to get the premium mode for Nexus for the absolute best download speeds, which certainly does help when you're working with the Nexus mod manager, then there is a fee with that, but otherwise you're not obliged to pay for the Nexus at all. So there's nothing wrong with that. If someone is charging for a mod on the Nexus, that's actually a break of their policy. So if you find someone that's saying you're not getting this mod unless you pay me, then they're doing it wrong, and the Nexus needs to know about that, because that shouldn't be the case at all. I come in here a bit early. I think I have. Yeah, no problem. I don't know what you've done for modding Skyrim in the past, what you've done, whether you've done it before. The reason I ask if you've done it before is because I'm... Oh, you've never modded before? Right, okay, so everything here is going to be completely new experience for you. Okay. Okay, I will say this right now. If you're planning on modding Skyrim, from the Nexus, I highly recommend that you use the Nexus mod manager and download all your mods using that. So there should be a link for the Nexus mod manager somewhere on the Nexus. I think it's actually advertised on the main part of the site, so that when you come to download a mod that you're interested in, always choose the option to download with the mod manager. And the idea of the mod manager is that it downloads for you, and it also makes it easier to install mods, because it can be quite complicated at times if you have to put things in certain places, but with the Nexus mod manager, then it kind of does all of that for you. So, oh, mage, that's going to hurt. Yep. Second thing to note, don't mod an existing game. I would say that you will have to accept the fact that you will have to start games again on Skyrim. So if you've got an existing save now that you're really proud of, I still wouldn't recommend that you use that for a modded playthrough, because modding something that's already there tends to break things. So I recommend that you always do a new game. So effectively, if you've got a save file there, remake that character from scratch. That's fine. Yeah, it's mostly just to avoid any hiccups with the game running, because a lot of mods tend to actually say they do not recommend that you do it with an existing game, otherwise it can just really foul it up. Doesn't always, it's not always the case. Sometimes you can get away with installing something mid-game. I've certainly done it in the past, but most times it's recommended that you get a load of the mods in that you want and just start a fresh game. And it's also usually a very bad idea to have a game file that you've taken a mod out and then decided to take out, but again, that's just at the discretion of what the mod author says and everything else as well. Okay, this mage has to die first because I'm going to be destroyed by Hadoukens. There's another one? Right, let me get my health back for starters. Do I have any werewolf perks? No. Okay, third thing I will say as well, even though this might be special edition. Oh, actually, before going further, that's another thing. Are you coming into Modern with the classic edition of Skyrim, and I'm talking about the original game in 2011, otherwise known as Legendary Edition, or is it Special Edition that you've got? Sorry, that was just funny what that person was saying. The reason I ask about whether you're playing with Legendary Edition. Okay, so Nexus has two separate sites for Legendary Edition, aka Classic Edition, Original Edition, whatever you want to call it, and Special Edition. Treat them as two entirely different games, even though it's the same game, effectively. When it comes to modding, you have to treat them as very separate games. So make sure which site you're downloading from on the Nexus. Because if you download something for Special Edition and try and install it on your Legendary Edition, it's probably not going to work. So make sure that you are on the correct Skyrim site on the Nexus for mods. It should be fairly obvious which one you're on. But always just make sure you're either looking at Skyrim or Skyrim Special Edition. That's how they usually do it on the Nexus. But yes, treat them as completely different, separate websites and separate games. I'm munching on your neck, mate. Yeah. It's not going to save you, mate. Yeah. And to think the vampires were trying to convince me to go vampire when I'm already like this powerful. Right, unfortunately, I don't have any videos of myself on use of the Nexus Mod Manager or how it works, so I would recommend that you look into all sorts of videos you can find on YouTube of how to use the Nexus Mod Manager, install mods in general, and this, that, and the other, and other guides. Another program I highly recommend that you install is something called Loot, L-O-O-T. Little side program to go with the Nexus Mod Manager. Yeah, definitely want to read up and or watch videos on various things. It's all worth it in the end. My Skyrim experience has been greatly improved with mods over the years, it must be said. I couldn't imagine playing vanilla Skyrim now without any of the mods, because some of them are just so good. But it does take an effort, certainly, to make sure everything works and you have a smooth time without like constant crashing, as it were. But it's worth it in the end. But I highly recommend Loot. It's a little side program you can get from the Nexus as well, which helps with load order. When you mod, load order of your mods is very important to avoid conflicts and crashes. Loot helps you 8-9 times out of 10. There's some cases where actually it's a bit of a hindrance rather than a help, but for the most part it's more helpful. It just helps put things in order so that you avoid conflicts and crashes with the game, rather than trying to figure out yourself which order all the mods need to be in. I'm doing quite well for myself in Werewolf mode again, other than that one powerful mage that had the Kamehamehas. I still haven't picked up a perk point in a while. I mean, it's not that I need them, because I'm already at the point where I'm so powerful, but... Ooh, made him fear. They're doing Monty Python. Run away! Run away! Oh, I'm trying to remember, was there not... Trying to remember... Was there a secret door or a lever that opens something? Yes, there it is.
I can take. Come on, you monster.
Yeah, so much for your fire shield, mate. There's a perk available. Okay, so as a demonstration of Moonlight Tales, this is the Werewolf mod. The perk tree has been completely reformed. There's a lot more options available to you as a result. Trying to think actually what I was going to pick up now. Call of the Wild, yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot more options available than there is in vanilla tree for Werewolf. They've also reworked this, as I say. You're still very, very powerful, probably even more powerful, so once you're higher up on levels as compared to vanilla as well, where you start off strong and then turn out to be quite weak sauce. So they've scaled it so that you scale with the game, as it were. But they've also added stuff like you can also loot enemies still while in werewolf mode, which is not normally a thing. Not to mention the whole, I believe it's also responsible for this whole thing of it's nighttime, a certain moon is out, therefore I'm forced into werewolf mode, rather than doing it on choice. So, which is good in some cases, such as this. I was already in here, obviously wanting to take on all these bandits in order to retrieve the item that the gentleman at Falkreath wanted. But the moon's taken over, and now I'm really massacring them. Another one of them fake ghosts. Okay, that's the door I came into last time. Screw you, mage, and your bloody fire creature conjuration. Ah. Got there. Needed that. With two mages, one slowing me down and one causing me to explode. That's not fun. Nice. Got him. Oh, never another one. The mage is the bane of my existence on this build. think there's a bit more survivability when I'm in werewolf mode, but still. Okay. The troll I'm not fussed about. Where's this other mage at? Come here. Trying to spawn all those spiders, yeah, whatever. So that's an example of Orbis. Make significant changes to bandits so that there's a lot more variety of bandits. Most notably mage ones that will do like mass conservation of tiny spiders, which can be annoying. Unless you charge at them as a werewolf and just split them in half. Ah, all too many trees. Jump for crying out loud. Is there someone here? You mean the giant beast creature? Bandit Chief is going down. It's taking a lot of damage, but that's the trouble when you're the last enemy. Kill cam comes into play. It's a fair amount of dosh. So I'd say that was a successful wipeout of the bandits in this place. I'm not going to bother with them because I've already got something that gives me 200 damage boost, and those gauntlets are actually worse than what I'm already wearing when I'm in human form, at least anyway. Right, back to the outside. That's a dragon I can hear. Is he just flying by, or is he actually engaging in combat? I can't get to him over there, and he's either side of the hills. I think it's one of those where they're just flying over, so... Okay, I'm going to return to Falkreath. I'll probably just make use of the inn as well. Oops, it's not my mouse there. Make use of the inn, stop overnight because everyone's going to be asleep at this point. Before I can do a mission handing. Right, so I'm back at the graveyard site at least. There's the inn. Even the people running the place are asleep. Fine. Well, it's not like I can get a rested bonus anyway because I'm a werewolf and that beast blood prevents that from happening. So, alright, no problem. Thanks for checking in, Emo Fury, and thanks for the follow as well.
You want a drink?
You the town bike?
Ghost is responsible for the cemetery here in Falkreath. I take care of the shrine. Thank you. It's a collection of regrets that I try not to forget. Here, I promised you this. Safe travels to you.
Let's hear it.
Random Breton dead body out in the open for everyone to look at. I mean, I've heard of open casket funerals, but just body dumped on a wooden bench for people to view, and it's a different one. Needs the help. I remember there was a family who works this farm. They've got a quest, I think. Obviously not out and about, are they? Run the Merc.
Welcome to Dead Man's Drink.
Have you seen that Shrine of Azura? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see. People say there's someone in Riften that can change your face. Make you look completely different. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I'm already aware of that
Hear
one,
any
actually.
juicy gossip in town? Be sure to share it with me.
Need something?
That door's going to be locked, isn't it? Oh, no, they're in.
A sad time. The cemetery is ancient. It's been here longer than the town. I'm no scholar, but I know that a lot of battles have been fought here over the course of history. After each battle, more dead were buried, and the graveyard got bigger. I heard it's now the biggest graveyard in Skyrim. Yes, and I couldn't tell you why. My wife and I think there's some dark magic at work. And perhaps Arkay's influence is strong here, and he likes to keep it this way. Our daughter, our little girl, she hadn't seen her 10th winter. He ripped her apart, like a saber cat tears a deer. We barely found enough of her to bury. Sinding came through as a laborer. Seemed like a decent man. He's stewing in the pit while we figure out what to do with him. If you've got the stomach to look at him. What could drive a man to do something like this? I just don't understand what kind of man does that.
I get the feeling I'm going to know all too well. So there's only the high elf, but I need for that. I think that's going to be Thalmor. So if I run into any random Thalmor, that's probably going to do it. Yeah, I'll hand that one in. Words.
Good morning. Come to gawk at the monster? Believe me, it wasn't anything I ever intended to do. I just lost control. I tried to tell them, but none of them believed me. It's all on account of this blasted ring. This is the Ring of Hersey. I was told it could let me control my transformations. Perhaps it used to, but I'll never know. Hersey didn't care for my taking it, and threw a curse on it. I put it on, and the changes just came to me. I could never guess when. It would be at the worst times. Like with the little girl. I don't suppose there's a point in keeping the secret if I'm going to die in here anyway. I'm sure you've heard of men who shift to beasts under the influence of the moons. I am one of them. A werewolf. It's my secret and my shame. That's why I wanted the ring.
It was said to give men like me control. Now, I may look like a man, but I still feel the animal inside of me as strong as ever. I had just come into Falkness. They needed some help work in the mill, and I thought that would be something safe, something I could do. When I saw the little girl, I was just... I could feel it coming on. I could taste it. I needed to hunt, but this pitiful, limited body wasn't meant for hunting. Slow, no claws. Weak, mashing teeth for chewing cud. I held in my rage as long as I could, but it boiled inside of me. She looked so fragile, helpless prey, and then I feel terrible about what happened, about what I did. It would probably be best for everyone if I just went away. I've been looking for a way to appease Hircine. There is a certain beast in these lands, large, majestic. It's said that Hircine will commune with whoever slays it. I tracked it into these woods, but then I had my accident with the child. I want to beg his forgiveness, give him back the ring. But while I'm stuck in here, the beast wanders free. Oh my. You would do this for me? Here, take it. I don't want anything to do with this wretched thing anymore. Seek out the beast. He wanders these woods. Bring him down and the Lord of the Hunt should smile on you. I wish you luck. But you leave here while I still have my skin. Should our paths cross again, I will remember your kindness. Farewell.
Is that it? Is he stuck there? Because normally he's supposed to climb that wall. Whatever.
As if Skyrim... Oh, been tending your hounds? You smell like a wet dog.
Funny. How far up is it? Not that far.
Hi there. Hello. Green Dragon is a beer I brew myself. Very strong beer with a robust finish. It's even sold in Riften. Try this out, if you dare. Safe travels.
You trap missed. Dumbasses. got him.
Well met, hunter. I am the spirit of the hunt. Just one glimpse of the glorious stalker that your kind calls Hercine. Your fealty is precious to me. I will make good use of it. You bear my ring. The one who stole it has fled to what he thinks is his sanctuary. Just as a bear climbs a tree to escape the hunt, but only ends up trapping himself. Seek out this rogue shifter. Tear the skin from his body and make it an offering to me. Fly, my hunter. There are others who vie for my favor. A bit of competition. Don't dally while the prey flees.
So we're gonna do stuff for the boss, because he is my boss on this playthrough, since I am of the beast blood. And sure enough, I didn't even have to do it. The night time has hit. And therefore, I've been turned into the werewolf anyway, so yeah, that's how it goes.
Never thought I'd see you again. And I would deserve it, wouldn't I? I can't stop you if that's what you want to do. Hercine is too powerful. If you spare me, I can be a powerful ally to you. And I would promise to never return to civilized life. I know now that I can't live among people. So be it.
Werewolf fight. That's technically cannibalism.
You've done well, hunter. And found my favor. That skin will serve you well, child. Look more closely at it. My glory shall protect you from all this world's grievances. Good hunting.
So that was over and dealt with.
There he is. Get him.
What was that?
Right, so he's been dealt with. I believe this heads out back towards Falkreath.
What was that?
Ah, there's that done. Werewolf against skeleton, I mean, honestly. I don't know if they're expecting anything else, really. Got by the mage trap, but didn't do a great lot of damage to us. Troll having a go at me, whatever. Okay, so we've got all of that, so we can hand in this mission.
When the top level was built, no more could be placed. It was and is the maximal apex. I can almost hear them. I feel their life energy. Come, I will make the mixture. Can see. The world beyond burns in my mind. It's marvelous.
Okay.
Come, my champion. Now, you have my Agma Infinium. It contains the knowledge of the ages, as revealed to Xarxes, my loyal servant. For hundreds of years, it's been shut away from the world. Septimus was a useful tool for unleashing it. Now, it is in your hands. Let us work wonders together.
Right, so 5 free. I think it's 5 free points actually on those, but It helps get block back up to close to 100. That's fine. Speaking of which,
You should see my forge wife shoot theirs, if you need weapons or armor. You wish to learn from the best, eh? So be it.
oh, that's broke again. It's still not actually training me when I'm spending money. Well, there was me thinking I was actually going to buy the rest of the block training, but obviously not. So let's make use of Lydia, get those final 5. Well, there's one already. I actually knocked 2 levels off quickly. I'm not going to use time block, I'm just going to permanently be blocking like this because yeah, I don't want to lose the weapon and a chance to like be lost in the game world somewhere in some form of oblivion. Still getting health damage when I'm blocking.
What was that?
Lydia, what the hell were you doing? You picked up the mage staff? That's not sparring.
Are you prepared to die?
Hi there, Beowulf.
You won't get the best of me.
Is it Beowulf or is it... Oh, Rebel Wolf, I was going to say. Whoa, Lydia, what are you doing? That's cheating, Lydia. That is cheating.
Honored to see you again, my Thane.
Right, yeah. Lydia, talk.
Long life to you.
Follow me.
Hey. I'm right behind you. Of course, sir.
Where did you get this?
Very good. Yes, my Thane? I will be back at your house if you need me, Thane.
Right. Get rid of that. How are we doing on block?
I've never been more ready. Ha! Found you. Give up if you still can.
Yep, you fell over.
Are you prepared to die?
There's 99. Is 100 going to be enough to get me to 69? I doubt it. That's surely going to cause some first degree burns. Stop nicking the staff! Oh, that must have hurt. Smacking head first into the bloody post. There we go. Right, sparring session over. Right, let's block back up to 100. Not enough to level up to 69. Right. Um. That's a point.
Welcome to Bellathor's General Goods. Welcome indeed. Everything's... Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
We drop that off at Breezel Home. So, one of the other training dummies actually you get with the mod is who is it? It's one of the shrines that you can use. Gives you speech XP. The drawback is that you lose an hour effectively in game for doing that. I've got those various arrows I want to sell as well. So, but since speech is only at 57, not that I use it, but it's an excuse just to get the XP up. That's a possibility. So, I mean, even if I just kind of accept that I just go at 70, and then I've got like an evening.
It's always good to see someone I can count on. Take a look.
That.
Good luck out there.
Let me get my unrelenting force before I accidentally spar with someone I don't want to spar with. Yeah, I might just accept be at level 70. I'll have an even case of 500 health and stamina, 250 magicka. Because it's getting to the point, I mean, block's taking an age to get back up, really. Back to 100 after moving up legendary. Again, obviously I'm doing it because it means I keep leveling up, but Yeah. I'm just going to fast travel to here on the off chance that I get turned into a werewolf again when the night comes. That was a good call. It's not what I wanted. Oh, okay, a bounty's been removed. That's what I was trying to avoid.
Good evening.
So exciting when new folk come into town. I bet you've had plenty of adventures.
Blessings of the eight divines upon you. How may I help? Need something? Blessings to you. The divines are listening. The divines saved me from the streets, and they can save you from your trials as well. May knowledge of your divinity carry us through our daily trials.
mod configuration. Which one was it? I can't even remember now.
May the divines guide and keep.
Okay, so that's not working as intended. Never mind.
You look troubled. Have you come seeking guidance?
Do I want to burn through archery again? It's not really use a great lot. Because 200 also took an age to get back up to 100. Heavy armor's awkward to level up in general anyway. If I suddenly need to make arrows, I'm suddenly going to need to do smithing as well. I don't think I'm going to have much of a choice, really. Yeah, I might actually try that. Go one-handed. That's the point, actually. If it's low level damage, then yeah, that's not actually going to do much for me.
Long life to you, Thane.
Just making a Dragonborn mace just for the lols, since it's be pretty high damage. But I'm going to be using the training dubbies, and I'm going to work on one-handed, even though it's not my. I'm going into magic for. Okay, so I don't need to worry about restoration anymore. As far as perks, I can go back to archery and try and get that filled out again. keep selecting magic when I need items. Brain's becoming fried. Okay, 2 more perks on that side. One there, 2 there. Right, so I need 5 more perks. And then archery's done at least as well. And then after that. Okay, so I'm gonna just get to the daytime. I'm just gonna call up to Farngar to see if he's got any better healing spells that I can purchase.
Come to Dragon's Reach to discuss the ongoing hostilities, like the rest of the great warriors? Sadly, no. My work affords me few opportunities for such an adventure. Perhaps some hero will bring one to Dragon's Reach, like old Olaf one I once did. What a fascinating conversation that would be. Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
Still nothing. Did I? Yeah, missing Grand Heal, I think.
Your mind is the best weapon you have. Yes?
A fine day. Hello, friend. I'll gladly share my knowledge with you. Be careful and stay safe.
I've got that one to 100 at least.
I'm just out and about. The Bannered Mare can do without me for a bit, I suspect.
Okay, I'm going to head back to Riverwood. I think it's now at the point really where yeah, we need to be moving on with the main story. I've held off for long enough. I've done all sorts, side quests and all sorts, but I think I'm at the point now where I've kind of exhausted all of that, and I really ought to move along the main story, and then move along and get the Civil War ended as well. Because I can't complete the main story without making an attempt to resolve the Civil War. I know there's a way you can kind of suspend it as an option. But since I'm Imperial, I'm just going to go full Empire anyway. And just get that resolved. Get the main quest done. Get Dragonborn done. And then that's probably where I'll end it as well. So hopefully by the weekend it'll be all done. And I'll make a start with my 3 weeks holiday available by starting something new. So we'll see, but
Yeah? Just stoke the fire. Take a seat.
I don't think you were followed. Come on, I have a plan.
let's move it, Delphine.
I figured out how we're going to get you into the Thalmor embassy. That would be a bad idea. I'd be too likely to attract the wrong kind of attention. But they don't know you at all yet. The Thalmor ambassador, Elenwen, regularly throws parties where the rich and connected cozy up to the Thalmor. I can get you into one of those parties. Once you're inside the embassy, you can get away and find Elenwen's secret files. I have a contact inside the embassy. He's not up for this kind of high-risk mission, but he can help you. His name is Malborn. Wood Elf. Plenty of reason to hate the Thalmor. You can trust him. I'll get word for him to meet you in Solitude at the Winking Skeever. You know it? While you're doing that, I'll work on getting you an invitation to Elenwen's little party. Meet me at the Solitude stables after you've arranged things with Malborn. Any questions? Don't worry about Malborn. He's not a dangerous character like you. But he hates the Thalmor at least as much as I do. He's a wood elf. The Thalmor wiped out his family back in Valenwood during one of their purges that we never hear about. Luckily, they don't know who he really is, or he wouldn't be serving drinks at the ambassador's parties. Let me handle that. You'll have a real invitation, don't worry. As long as you can act the part of a Thalmor toady, you'll get past the guards. That's when the fun starts. You'll have to slip away from the party without raising the alarm. Then you'll need to find Elenwen's office and search her files. Malborn should be able to point you in the right direction. Sounds good. Be careful. What? Something you're still confused about?
Just curious if taking the long route actually spawns any. Well, that's a fleet of saber cats. Yeah, real shame I don't need any of your pelts. There's a dragon. That's Alduin. Oh shit. That was a weak sauce dragon to level 10. Never had that happen before though. Where Alduin's just like randomly turned up at a dragon burial site to release another dragon. Okay, since I'm still working on unlocking Dervnavia, spend the dragon soul there rather than just a free perk. But yep, that has never happened for me before. Plenty of dragon attacks in towns or just randomly in the middle of the road, but not a situation where Alduin actually turns up outside of the main story to release another dragon for a mound. There's a flying goat. And there's a crash. Right. I think honestly this is actually too late at night for me to try and fire back up and get somewhere, so I'll bookmark it here. Apologies for the blank screen then as I end this. So tomorrow, again, I'll try and aim for about a 7 o'clock, 7:30 UK time for starting the stream again. As I say, I think what I'll be doing for the remainder of this week and going into the weekend with the aim to actually get this playthrough done for Skyrim now, because I think I've pretty much exhausted everything I can realistically do on this. So tomorrow I will be making a blitz through of the storyline, the main story quest, and I'll inevitably come up to the situation where I've got to deal with a civil war. So that'll either start tomorrow night, or if not, that'll be Thursday night, and burn through that. Which then hopefully should leave me in a situation that by the time I get to Friday, I'm finishing off the main story, and Saturday could very well be when I do the Dragonborn DLC, because I might as well get that done as well, for the sake of completion, and then go from there. So yeah, I'll try and burn through as much of the main quest as I can before I'm forced into the end of the Civil War conflict, or at least to end that. So yeah, keep an eye out for the channel around 7 o'clock, 7:30, no later than 8 o'clock, as of like I did tonight, if at all, that I'm basically called into anything in particular. I'll have to deal with something. But yeah, so appreciate all the new followers this evening, and all the new watchers. Hope that's also inspired some other people to check out modding in Skyrim. As a permanent archive of all my streams are on the YouTube page, so you can follow the link on the channel there for that. If you wish to become a patron of the channel and the YouTube channel, then there's a link for LibrePay. Works very similar to Patreon, where you can set up monthly donations, but it doesn't have the tiered reward system in place, just straight donation, if you're interested in that as well. Otherwise, again, I appreciate those that have been watching tonight and also become followers. And I will see you again tomorrow night around 7 o'clock, 7:30, hopefully. Thanks again.